Over the past couple of days, online conservatives have been so sure that liberals are now throwing not just milkshakes at right-wingers, but concrete in milk-shaped wrappers. But is it actually true? Joining us now to help break it down, Parker Malloy, editor-at-large at Media Matters. Parker, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me back.
So this will probably be a pretty short conversation because during the brawl that was going on in Portland, the police said that there's quick dry or quick set concrete being mixed into these milkshakes. So that's the end of the story, right?
Case closed, right? Well, sort of, not really. Basically what happened was the Portland Police Bureau put out a statement on Twitter saying that they received a report that there was concrete mixed in with these shakes, which were being distributed by a group called Popular Mobilization. They handed out 750 plus shakes throughout the day. And so there was this rumor that there was cement in them, and the police put that out because they didn't want anyone to accidentally ingest cement, which would be bad. But what got sent out as a caution was soon twisted into a confirmation that this did happen. When there's no actual evidence, no one went to the hospital complaining of having their insides turned to cement or anything like that. That didn't happen. People were drinking these things all day. Now, that is not to say that anything else in this whole story with throwing milkshakes or any other attacks didn't happen or anything like that. Of course, we saw what happened on video, but the actual narrative surrounding cement milkshakes still seems to be a rumor. And it's possible that it's true, but it's currently unconfirmed.
Yeah, it is. Many things are possible. It's possible the milkshakes also had unicorn blood in them. But the thing is, if you're postulating that, there's 700 of them. That is a lot of potential evidence. If there's none at this point, I don't know why you would continue to believe it. And the issue is that it's not that the initial tweet went out. It's that it was in a Fox News headline. They took it out, thankfully. They did end up taking it out, but they didn't actually correct it or anything. And so anybody who was exposed to that headline probably believes that this was the case. Do you believe that? I haven't seen any corrections. So are a lot of people gonna come out of this believing that it was true?
Well, I think that that's going to be the case. So one of the people who was covering this on the ground was this journalist named Katie Shepard. She is the one who she emailed the police and asked for any proof that they had, anything to confirm this. And what happened was that she got something back that said that it was just one officer saying that he saw something that resembled a powdery substance that could have possibly been this, matching the report that they received earlier that day.
Actually, now, can I ask you a question related to that? Because I had seen that there was apparently an email describing the recipe for this. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Yeah. So there was an email sent out, which this was forwarded to Katie as well. That said it was basically supposed to be supposedly from protesters preparing for this thing, and it was every stereotype kind of rolled up into one. And it said something like, "Be sure to use soy milk," and it called cops pigs. It was really over the top. And the police specifically said they received that after they put out the tweet. So at that point, it's just an anonymous report. But in a tweet that Katie Shepard just sent out maybe an hour or so ago, it says she came home last night and saw one of her roommates for the first time since Saturday. And she said she covered the protest, and her roommate responded, "Oh yeah, and there were cement milkshakes." So Shepard wrote, "This is how disinformation works. Reporters trying to correct the record will never win the information battle." And that's why it's important, I think, that even in this case where there was violence, and this is not to say anything about the legitimacy of any of that, but the claim that there was cement in milkshakes is unverified and shouldn't be just repeated as truth, because the police did not even confirm it. This isn't questioning their word, which honestly you should always question the word of law enforcement just generally, but even by their own word, they have not said that this is something that for sure happened.
Yeah, and look, I'm gonna agree with you. I wanna be very clear that violence, whether it's of the throwing regular milkshakes variety or punching someone, obviously is not acceptable. We are consistent on that. I just wish that we lived in a world where the same people who are gonna be doing multiple shows about this particular incident would also care about like Nazis running over protesters. It feels like for them to cover that, the Nazi would have to be drinking a milkshake while running over a protester at this point. And honestly, it just feels so convenient that libs were choosing to throw milkshakes, which you should not do, but is not gonna kill someone. And so they had to come up with some way to make it seem as if this not very threatening thing that you shouldn't do is actually an act of terror.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I have, personally, from my own personal point of view, I've said that I don't think that's a good idea. I condemn it as well, unequivocally. And I think that what was dangerous that was happening there wasn't so much the milkshakes. The milkshakes were bad, but it was people throwing punches, people hitting people with objects. The milkshake, it's more symbolic than anything else. Which again, throwing a milkshake at someone is still illegal and not good. But I think it's just important to have all the facts in order. And in this case, saying that there were cement milkshakes just didn't line up.
Well, look, anybody watching this, if you'd like more information on the whole timeline of how this misinformation spread, Parker's write-up on Media Matters is great. As you point out, people who are fighting to correct misinformation are probably never gonna win that war, but I love that you guys are trying. So thank you over at Media Matters for doing that. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this clip from the Damage Report. For more content from the show and access to TYT Network members-only exclusives, go to tyt.com/Brooke. Wait, no, it's tyt.com/John. Go to tyt.com/John to sign up.